Two CBS shows, two completely different worlds. One has been running for over 20 years and just passed 500 episodes. The other fought for survival 3 times and still could not hold on. NCIS versus SWAT. And I want to do this comparison the right way, not just picking a winner, but going category by category so you can decide for yourself which show actually did it better. Let's get into it. Round 1, the premise. NCIS is about the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, an elite team of federal agents based in Washington, D.C., investigating crimes involving the Navy and Marine Corps. It started in 2003, it is currently in its 23rd season, and as of right now, it is still pulling over 5 million viewers every Tuesday night. That is not a show, that is an institution. SWAT is about an elite LAPD Special Weapons and Tactics Unit, led by Sergeant Daniel Hondo Harrelson, a black man from South Central Los Angeles, trying to bridge the gap between his community and the badge he wears. It premiered in 2017, it ran for 8 seasons, and it was canceled 3 times before CBS finally let it go for good in March 2025. Both shows are procedurals. Both shows are on CBS, but they are completely different things underneath the surface. NCIS is a federal investigation show built on mystery, character relationships, and case-of-the-week structure. SWAT is a street-level action show built on adrenaline, community tension, and what it costs to serve in a city that does not always trust you. On premise alone, I honestly think they are both excellent. But they are serving completely different audiences, and that matters for everything that comes next. Round 2, the lead character. Hondo Harrelson is one of the most specifically written lead characters in the history of CBS procedurals. Shamar Moore built that man from the ground up over 8 seasons, a former Marine, a South Central kid who made it, a leader who carries the weight of his community's complicated relationship with law enforcement in every single scene. When Hondo walks into a standoff, you feel all of that history on him. The show asked genuinely difficult questions about policing, race, and identity, and Shamar Moore never once let those questions feel easy or performative. I honestly think his performance across 8 seasons is one of the most underrated things CBS has ever aired. NCIS has had 2 defining lead characters across its 23 seasons. Leroy Jethro Gibbs, played by Mark Harmon for 19 seasons, was the moral compass of an entire franchise. Quiet, instinctive, terrifying when he needed to be, and completely incapable of letting anyone he cared about down. And when Gibbs left in 2021 and Alden Parker stepped in, played by Gary Cole, the show did something genuinely hard. It gave us a different kind of leader. Looser, more self-aware. Someone who manages the weight of the job differently. And the show has not collapsed around him. If anything, season 23 has been some of the most emotionally bold television NCIS has produced in years. Both leads are exceptional in completely different ways. Hondo is more emotionally specific. Gibbs was more mythically powerful. Parker is more humanly relatable. I honestly cannot pick a winner here, and I am not going to pretend I can. Round 3, longevity and resilience. This is where the comparison gets genuinely painful. And I want to be honest about it. NCIS is the longest-running scripted primetime drama on CBS in history. 23 seasons. 500-plus episodes. A franchise that now includes Origins, Sydney, and the brand new New York spinoff starring LL Cool J just announced in April 2026. The show has survived the loss of its original showrunner, the departure of its iconic lead, the death of multiple beloved cast members, and the complete reinvention of its main team twice. And it is still standing. Still pulling millions of viewers every week. Still getting renewed before the season even ends. SWAT fought for its life constantly. It was canceled after season 6, 2023. Fans saved it. It came back for season 7. Then, somehow, it got renewed for season 8. And then, in March 2025, CBS canceled it for the 3rd and final time. Season 8 had been averaging 4.9 million viewers with delayed playback, not nothing, but it ranked last among CBS dramas. The move from the Friday leadoff slot to the 10 p.m. hour after Blue Bloods ended hurt it badly, and it never fully recovered from that scheduling decision. Shamar Moore went straight to Instagram after the cancellation and said, "I do not think CBS is making the right choice." And then he looked directly into the camera and pitched pitched Netflix, NBC, Fox, and ABC on picking up season 9. I honestly respect that more than almost anything I have seen a TV star do. He refused to go quietly. And the result is SWAT Exiles, a spin-off currently in production at Sony Pictures Television, with Moore reprising his role as Hondo with a brand new team. No network has picked it up yet, but it is being made, because Shamar Moore simply would not let it die. On longevity, NCIS wins without argument, but on fighting spirit, SWAT wins in a way that no other show on television can claim. Round 4, the supporting cast and team chemistry. This is where both shows absolutely shine, and this is the round that I think tells us the most about what each show was actually trying to do. The NCIS team chemistry has always worked because the show built it slowly and carefully over years. You watched McGee go from probie to the most seasoned agent in the building. You watched Palmer go from nervous assistant to someone who carries entire episodes. You watched Torres and Knight and Casey develop into genuine pillars of the team. The emotional payoff of the 500th episode, everyone gathering in Vance's office to toast the man they just lost, hit as hard as it did because of decades of relationship building. I honestly could not watch that scene without feeling it in my chest. SWAT built its team chemistry fast and hot. Hondo and Deacon, Street and Luca. The bunkhouse energy of that squad felt like a group of people who would genuinely take a bullet for each other, and the show put them in situations where that was not a metaphor. It was real. The loss of certain characters across the seasons hit hard because those relationships had been built with genuine care. And the fact that when SWAT Exiles was announced, Jay Harrington, who played Deacon, found out through a text from Shamar Moore the day before the public announcement tells you everything about how tight that cast actually was. Round 5, Cultural Impact. NCIS is the most watched drama franchise in the world. That is not an argument. That is a statistic. At its peak, it was the most watched show on all of American television. It has spawned Los Angeles, New Orleans, Hawaii, Sydney, Origins, Tony, and Ziva, and now New York. When NCIS does something, it reverberates across the entire industry. Vance dying in the 500th episode was one of the biggest television moments of 2026. SWAT's cultural impact is different, but I would argue it is deeper in a specific way. The show chose to tackle police brutality, community distrust, the legacy of systemic racism, and the internal politics of a department trying to evolve, and it did all of that inside a network action procedural format that could have easily avoided every single one of those conversations. It did not avoid them. Hondo was the show's argument that you can be from a community and still serve it, and that the two things do not have to be in conflict. In the current cultural landscape, that argument matters enormously. And the show made it week after week for 8 seasons on the most watched broadcast network in America. The verdict. Here is what I honestly believe after looking at all of this. NCIS is the better franchise. By every measurable standard, longevity, ratings, cultural footprint, spin-offs, renewal history, NCIS is one of the greatest things CBS has ever built, and it is still going. But SWAT is the braver show. It consistently chose the harder storyline, the more uncomfortable question, the more specific emotional truth, and it did that while fighting for its survival every single year. And the fact that it is still alive in the form of SWAT Exiles with Shamar Moore refusing to let Hondo go is proof that some shows are bigger than the network that carries them. If I had to pick one to watch from the beginning right now, I would watch SWAT first, because it will surprise you in ways that NCIS at 500 episodes simply cannot anymore, and then I would watch NCIS for the sheer comfort of one of the most well-built procedural worlds in television history. Both shows deserve their fan bases. Both shows deserve this conversation, and I honestly think the fact that SWAT is gone from CBS while NCIS keeps growing tells us more about the economics of broadcast television than it does about the quality of either show. NCIS Season 23 is airing Tuesdays at 8 on CBS right now. SWAT Exiles is in production at Sony with no home yet, but knowing Shamar Moore, that is going to change very soon. And when it does, drop a comment below and tell me where you think it should land. Now, I want to hear from you. Team NCIS or Team SWAT? And do you think CBS made the right call